On this episode of Contemplate, we're going to go to a very cool place where creativity has no limits, and we're also going to meet some very cool people, so stick around. The Downriver Council for the Arts at the DeSana Center is actually a regional arts center that includes several cities throughout the Downriver area. And because of this pandemic, they had to get creative when it comes to helping their artists show their work. Their latest exhibit is called The Antidote, and it is currently running online on their website.
So The Antidote this was the call for art for artists who created during the pandemic of COVID-19, which is still currently going on, but it was a challenge for artists to go out and create. And I think honestly, it gave us more liberation and freedom in creating. I think people dove into their mental capabilities even more through this pandemic, and through that some really unique pieces have come about. There's been a hyper awareness of our society and how we interact with each other. There has been limitations and proper, distancing and precautions used to help us go about minimizing the spread of COVID, but I think when it comes to the artist, I think it was a good thing for us, and it was more freedom and time, I think, to create art for us, because we already are in an intimate space when creating art, and I think we just were blessed with getting even more intimate time and spaces to be able to create more and express. So you can visit www.downriverarts.org, and in the visual arts section of the DCA page you can find our shows, and we have online exhibits aside from the gallery shows we have in the building. So that will show the Antidote show that's currently up and running right now. So the internet is it reaches just such a much larger population. You can reach millions of people all around the world through the internet and putting your art on display online. And I think social media outreach and getting people to come in and view the online work is really good, and it's a change. Going from in-person exhibits to online exhibits, they're becoming more of a popular thing right now, but it's a really good tool for people to get more popularity with their art, more viewers, and possibly more buyers too. So I think the online exhibits are a really good tool for us right now, especially during these times when we're staying indoors. If there were any challenges, I think the challenge of going online might have been our biggest hurdle, of converting to online video art making and online galleries. Maybe that was our biggest challenge, but I think we covered every aspect of the Antidote and the pandemic and art during that, and the show showcasing all the art that was made during the pandemic, I think is really interesting to see and what these artists made and what their headspace was and what that shows in their art.
The Downriver Council for the Arts has had to get creative to deal with this pandemic and have exhibitions where their artists could still show their work. That's exactly what they did last spring when they had Art Out. Art Out was a call for artists to create art in some of their favorite outdoor spaces, whether it be in their yard or a park.
What I'm doing is coordinating and facilitating the actual Zoom webinar meeting portion of this, and having it then load live to Facebook, so we're able to stream live all of the artists that are participating in the Downriver first annual, or maybe first monthly, I don't know, Downriver Art Out. We've had a pretty good turnout for a first time. We've had a huge number of people that have actually decided to participate. They may not all be on the Zoom webinar with us, but they are participating in their own backyards, front yards, side yards, and posting imagery of we've had, I mean, numbers of different types of things, from woodworking pieces to paintings to jewelry to ceramic pieces, and people, images of themselves creating, all hashtagged and put out there through Instagram.
So I'm a graphic artist. I do have a bachelor's degree in fine arts, but my emphasis was illustration and graphic design. So that's just where I found my sanction in everything. I do all kinds of different stuff as long as I finish it on the computer. I'll illustrate stories, different scenes from things that I dream about, things that bother me, things going on in life. I've been on quite a typography kick lately for probably about a year now, and I don't know, I guess when I'm burnt out I'll get to the next thing, because I don't know, I don't like pigeonholing myself. So right now I'm working on some hand-lettered typography that I will probably, once I get to a good space in this, I will throw it on the computer, and I have a tablet and I usually finish it that way. Just for the Facebook Live people. Here's an example of something I'm working on right now. It might be backwards for you, but it's just some hand-lettered typography I do. And when I'm in a good space with it, I will scan it or take a really high-quality photo of it, and I will put it on my computer, and I'll use an Adobe program such as Illustrator or Photoshop to really finish it out. I use a tablet for that. That I draw with, and I plug that into my laptop, and that's just kind of how I do it. But people have all kinds of different ways of doing it, and that's just what gets me through the day. The purpose of this event is to just really get people in the Downriver community to get outside, get some fresh air, and do what they do best, and that's just creating whatever they make, or perform, or play. And so we thought it would be a good idea, and especially with the COVID-19 pandemic taking place and the Art Center not being open, this would be a great way to get the community together while also simultaneously being at the convenience of your home, while using the hashtag Downriver Art Out 2020 on social media, going live like we are right now, to just kind of have that community feeling at the convenience of your backyard or front yard.
Susan. Welcome to the Stone Cottage. I am a wire weaver and sculptor. I am an artist who's very much inspired by nature, as you can see by the trees all around me. I'm currently working on a wire tree that will be a wedding gift. It was commissioned, so this will have the family tree features of the birthstones of the bride and groom and the roots. And eventually, if there are children, then we take it apart and we add birthstones to the tree branches as well. So a very meaningful gift. I guess my story begins about 4 years ago when I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. After treatment, I lost all of the feeling in my fingers and feet, and I was told that I needed to do some kind of art therapy to try and regain that. I found a wonderful group of artists at the Josephine Ford Cancer Center in Woodhaven, and while they were all painters, and that did not appeal to me, they were very instrumental in me finding an art form that I loved. And so they have their paintbrushes and their paints, I have my wires and my tools, and every Thursday afternoon we get together and create together. It's a wonderful space. It's called the Healing Arts Group. Stone Cottage came out of that artwork after about a year of working on the craft. I was commissioned to do a collection for River's Edge Gallery of Carnegie-Devanian glass, and that got the ball rolling. And so Stone Cottage Wireworks is the name of my business. I do sculptural work with wire. I do wire weaving and jewelry. And
The Indie Art Fair is an annual event at the Downriver Council for the Arts. It was canceled last spring, of course, because of the pandemic, but prior to that, we attended the Indie Art Fair so we could talk to some of the artists that participated and really found out where they were at in creating art and making that art profitable.
So this event, the Downriver Indie Art Fair, we showcase 50 to 60 different artists and makers. What makes our fair different than a lot of these other events in the different cities around here is that we like to showcase artists. So we call ours an art fair. So you'll have traditional painters, illustrators, printmakers, you know, and those kind of artists don't really have places to sell unless they do traditional art fairs, fine art fairs, things like that. So we hope that this gives them a space that will have attendees who appreciate art and who are specifically looking for art. We'll give them that audience. And then also the local people, you know, so they can see that kind of fine art, you know, because some of these artists are, you know, a little farther out, maybe Mount Clemens or Royal Oak, you know, they're not from Downriver. So that way it gives the community around here a chance to see all them as well.
So I'm from Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. I currently live downtown in Detroit. I go to Wayne State University, and I'm part of the Wayne State Ceramics Guild. We just became an official guild at Wayne State, so 2020 established. We do a couple sales throughout the semester, throughout the year, to help fundraise, to get artists to come in and do talks at Wayne State, as well as get ourselves out to other places to travel, do sales, and different studio opportunities. Well, this is our very first year having a booth at the DCA. We're hoping to do more. We've done a couple other events at Noel Night and various sales at Wayne State. So this has definitely been the biggest by far that we've done. So we're super excited for the turnout and anybody who's going to be coming by. And yeah, we're just very happy to show our wares and kind of put ourselves out there a little bit more.
This is my first show with the DCA. I'm selling my prints. I have some metallic and some luster prints, as well as larger poster boards. I got interested in photography at a young age. I really love being able to see what you can't see with the human eye, so I like close-up shots or catching nice candids that you can't see with, you know, the human eye. Getting involved with the DCA has helped me gain exposure with a lot of the community and other artists.
So I'm actually a trained painter, and a few years ago I taught myself how to do graphic design and digital illustrations. So that's what most of this is here. I have a few paintings, but it's mostly digital illustrations. And I do a lot of comic conventions, so I have a lot of like fan art, stuff from comics, movies, video games, and then I just make things I love. I love Detroit, I love movies, I love plants and animals, so that's what a lot of my subjects are. I've just been very artistic my whole life. I went to school for theater design, and that's where I learned how to paint. I became a set painter. I was painting backdrops and props and set pieces. And after doing that for about 5 years, I just decided I wanted to make my own stuff and share my own work with everybody.
Well, I really enjoy the atmosphere here. I've done a lot of craft shows in high schools and auditoriums, and this is so much nicer. It's very inviting and really nice to see all the original artwork. It's very welcoming. I'm getting a lot of nice feedback through the DCA there, and I really, so this is my 4th year here, and it keeps me coming back. I really enjoy the feedback and the people.
I'm here today because I recently came back to my love of painting, and I have a lot of artwork available, and so this is actually my first time selling my artwork anywhere other than to friends and family. I've always been artistic, and I've been painting since I was 12 years old. I've mostly done oil painting throughout my life, and I've recently incorporated acrylic painting as well, and some mixed media pieces. And painting basically just brings me a little bit of peace, and it helps me kind of calm down and come back to myself and enjoy something beautiful. I grew up in Allen Park, and then I lived out of the state for several years, and recently came back and learned about the Downriver Council for the Arts online when I was looking for art fairs in the area. And from what I've heard, the organization does a lot of great things, and I would love to become more involved and see some of the other events. This is my first time actually in this building, so I'm definitely looking forward to working with the Downriver Council.
The metal I work with comes in a clay form. Although it is an actual metal, it is fine silver, which is pure silver, or copper or bronze is mainly what I work in. And because it comes in a clay form, I'm able to shape it, mold it, carve into it, just like you would any other clay. It goes into a kiln, and it gets fired for several hours at 1650 degrees, and when it comes out, it's a piece of pure silver or pure bronze or copper, whatever it may be. And when you're done, you have a beautiful piece of fine silver jewelry or copper and bronze. Oh, I've been part of the Downriver Council for the Arts for many years. I'm not even sure how many, at least 10. And I do enjoy meeting the artists that they have here in residence, and I've become friends with most of them. And it's just a great opportunity for a lot of different functions. They really have a lot of different functions here.
Being a part of the Indie Art Fair is always a really great experience because you get the opportunity to meet other makers. So I'm a printmaker, so I've already met a couple other printmakers, and you can share tips with each other and get to experience a art community on its own, and then feel the support of the buyers and the people looking at your art. So I'm a printmaker, and printmakers basically make duplicates of their work through several processes. So I use screen printing and block printing to make a lot of one image. So I screen print on t-shirts, I carve blocks and print onto paper that way. And so I really just love making illustrations and putting them onto fabric and paper. So this is actually my first time being here, but I've already found it to be a really great experience because everyone's been really welcoming. It's been super easy to get set up. Everyone's been asking me a couple times what I've needed, so just very friendly, and it's getting me the opportunity to meet people in a new community.
Oh, it's great. It's a great opportunity to meet a lot of fellow artists, actually, to learn a lot from them, how they set up their booth and how they present their artwork. It's a good opportunity to connect actually to each other, and also to get to know all the people that live in the Downriver area and that stroll by and look at your artwork. Oh, I think the Downriver Council of the Arts is a great opportunity for me as being new in the area, because we moved here 2 years ago from Germany. I have been an artist in Europe, but I didn't know anybody over here, so I went to Wyandotte right away, and I had the opportunity to exhibit with other fellow artists that I got to know, and so we came up by organizing our own exhibitions together. Oh, I love to tell stories, actually. I tell stories like only with paintings or collage on paintings, so no words but a lot of images, or I love to tell stories in books with few words and a lot of images for kids. I like to talk to the imagination of the people, you know. I think it's important that the people know that there can be beauty in everything that surrounds us, even though in the first place we won't see it, but when we change our inner point of view by looking at something, we can always find something good, like looking at a canvas, looking at nature around us, or even at a dying reed somewhere at Lake Erie. That's important to me.
It's our first time here at the Indie Art Fair, and we are really enjoying ourselves. My husband Scott and I have been patrons of this art fair for many years, and it's exciting being on this side of the table. I have been coming to classes here at the DCA. I learned about artist trading cards. I've learned different techniques, alcohol inks, jelly painting, jelly printing, a lot of different techniques. And now that we're members, we have enjoyed coming to different shows. My husband has had a couple pieces in the shows that are presented here at the DCA. I enjoy creating anything. I like to be a chef. I like to create food for the family, and I like to make things. So when I first started learning about soap, I kind of fancy myself a soap chef, and I create new scents, and I even use some products from the kitchen. I use turmeric and paprika and spices to scent my products. I'm always looking for the next exciting thing. I enjoy networking. I like being a part of this event. I enjoy meeting other artists, just talking amongst ourselves about our setup and about our products and how things get made, and it's really exciting being a maker.
This is probably my 6th or 7th year. I think I've been here since they started doing the spring fair. I really enjoy it. I grew up close by, so I always like coming back down here. So I do a lot of work with my hands. I always like learning something new, a new craft. So this year I have my vintage sock machine. It's from 1924. They were made to keep up with production of socks for the soldiers. and I just enjoy learning new things. This is a sock that I made on the machine, and I have yarn that I dyed, so I started dyeing yarn to make the socks with. But it's really a lot of fun. I like getting out and meeting the people, telling them the story of what I do. Okay, the DCA is a very nice group. They've always been very welcoming. That's why I keep coming back every year. It's a nice group to come to, and they bring out the crowds. No, this is the socks are the new thing that I have with me this year. I always try to bring something different every year to switch it up. I see a lot of familiar faces every year at these shows, so it's always nice to bring something new.
Participating in the Indie Art Fair is really fun because I love to see all the people that come out and support all the different artists and vendors that we have here. So it's I've been a part of the Indie show since the beginning. I think it's been about 8 years now. So I love being a part of it. My involvement with the DCA is pretty extensive. As far as an artist, I have done more and more art and participating in other shows besides just the DCA. I've built a whole collection of friends in art that support me with what I do, and I'm also a volunteer on their gallery committees, so I've learned how to hang and install the artwork in the gallery. For the Downriver Council for the Arts, our gallery committee, they teach us how to install the pieces and how to make a whole cohesive collection. You don't really need any experience to be part of it. We will kind of coach you through it. I've done it for about a year and a half now, and I've curated a couple of the art exhibits as well myself. Well, I guess what would be relevant is how there are so many people in the Downriver area that are artistic, that need a place like a home to kind of explore their talents and to develop their talents. And it doesn't really matter what age. The Downriver Council for the Arts brings people in all the way 5, 6 years old in some of their classes, all the way up to as old, older 80s, 90-year-old people. And it doesn't matter what you're involved in, whether it's fine art, acrylics, oils, watercolor, crafting, scrapbooking, all kinds of stuff. I'm actually a fashion designer, so I was brought in to have fashion shows here, and now I'm doing art and putting art in the art galleries.
This is my first time here at the Indie Art Fair. It's nice to see all of the other artists around. One of the things that I find really positive about this space and this environment is it gives artists who are just starting up or smaller businesses kind of an opportunity to explore, set up their stands, and show some people their product and experiment. So I find that really positive about it, and getting to see all the other handmade crafts of the artists here is a really nice experience. I'm an artist based out of Detroit. I've been working as a visual artist probably for 15 years now. I started with a looser style and ended up doing a lot of hand drawings based on geometric art and math art. And additionally, with my products, I offer salves and hand creams. I'm focusing a lot on flowers and that I'm able to grow in my own garden. So I have sage that I've grown, lavender, holy basil, and different herbs and things, and making skin creams as well.
On our next episode of Contemplate, we're going to talk to several different artists. We're going to find out what motivates them to create art. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again.